Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Mets Get It On Sweep. The Mets sweep the Toronto Blue Jays. What a beautiful way to cap off a weekend in Queens. Let's dive right in. Game one, we are back at Citi Field for the home opener. Packed house. We had a packed house all weekend. Really excited to see the fans buying in. What do you notice right out of the gate? Massive standing ovations, obviously, for newest Met Juan Soto, who was really firing up the crowd, totally understood the moment, and wanted to make the most out of his debut. We're so excited to have him in Queens, and he got a massive ovation. Of course, second in the National League in MVP voting, Francisco Lindor with a huge ovation. Not healthy right now, but Sean Manaea got one of the loudest cheers at Citi, as did Kodai Senga. And pitching coach Jeremy Hefner, which I thought was interesting. I think it's a very intelligent fan base. We understand what he's doing for our arms, and the fact that this kind of non-heralded starting pitching staff has come out to such a good start. I think we really believe in David Stearns, the pitching factory, and everything that Jeremy Hefner is doing for the boys. So let's get right into the game. Tyler Sylor, the big drip McGill, is on the mound in the home opener facing off against Kevin Gossman. Big Drip was slinging it, man. He looked unbelievable. Tyler went 5 1/3 innings pitched, no earned runs, and 4 strikeouts. Guy was absolutely cruising. His stuff looked unbelievable. He is really making me believe that he's going to be a key piece of the rotation this year. So, first time he faces any real adversity in this start. He lets 2 men on in the 6th inning with back-to-back walks of Bo Bichette and Anthony Santander, and that is when they pulled the plug. Carlos Mendoza goes into the pen, and he brings on Reed Garrett, which I think is extremely telling of the trust that this organization has in Reed Garrett. He is a high leverage arm, and he's coming in big spots. What does he do with the 2 men on? He strikes out former Met Andres Jimenez. Thanks for bringing us Lindor, my man. Appreciate that. And Alejandro Kirk is next up, and he fans him as well to get the Mets out of trouble. So the pitching was unbelievable in the home opener. On the offensive side of the ball, what can I say about Pete Alonso, man? He is off to a scorching start, hits a 2-run bomb in the first inning. He's laying off those pitches low and outside of the zone. He is being really selective with the pitches that he's swinging at. Totally has a different approach this year at the plate, and I think he's just poised for a massive year. Juan Soto also hits an RBI double in the 6th inning. Mets take a commanding lead at that point, and they win this home opener 5-0. Incredibly stress-free game. Beautiful weather in Queens in the 60s, and the Mets take the home opener to move above 500 for the season. We are feeling good. Now, Game 2 was truly the game of the series. An absolute roller coaster ride and a truly exciting ending. But Griffin Canning is getting the start in Game 2. He goes 4 innings pitched. Only earned run that he gave up was to Vlad Guerrero Jr., potentially future Met, on an RBI single. In the 5th inning, Jose Butto comes up, unfortunately gives up an RBI double to Bo Bichette, and the Blue Jays take a 2-0 lead. Much like my experience in high school with women, our offense looked slow. A lot of strikeouts, a lot of struggles. But the game really started in the 8th inning for the Mets, as Francisco Lindor draws a leadoff walk. Right after that, Juan Soto comes up, hits a single, so we got men on first and second. First kind of signs of life from the offense all day. Pete Alonso comes up next, strikes out. Brandon Nimmo comes up, he lines out, and our offense kind of looks dead again. But who comes up to the plate? One of the hearts and soul of our team, designated hitter Jesse Winker. Jesse Winker crushes one to deep, deep right field. George Springer on the Blue Jays is running back, trying to catch up to this ball, running, sprinting, cannot make the catch, collides with the wall, and Winker was kind of pimping this one a little bit. He could have gotten maybe an inside the park home run if he was sprinting the whole way, but he thought it was gone, as did I, off the bat. Nonetheless, Winker hits a 2-run triple, and the Mets are right back in this ball game, tied up 2-2. Edwin Diaz. The numbers have been great so far, but he has had a lot of ducks on the pond. Immediately gives up 2 singles in the 9th inning. Outside of those 2 singles, he strikes out the other 3 men that he faces, and the Mets are out of trouble heading into the bottom of the 9th. And this would be a crazy one to pull out. This would be an unbelievable game to pull out. Jose Siri steps up. He walks. Luis Torrens, who's been nothing short of magnificent so far as the starting catcher, replacing Francisco Alvarez, he hits a single. Francisco Lindor eventually steps up to the plate, rips a walk-off sacrifice fly, and the Mets pull out the second game of the series. It really felt like at no time the Mets were in control of this ball game. It felt like we stole one, but really, really encouraging to see these late inning heroics happening, and the Mets take the first 2 games of the series. On to game 3, another wild one, man. It was a fun weekend in Queens. David Peterson gets the start. He is struggling a little bit with command. He has 5 walks on the day, but he goes 4 2/3 innings pitched, and he seems to find a way to get out of trouble. That being said, in the 5th inning, right before he got yanked, with the bases loaded, he starts to look off, like he's injured. Looks like a bad back injury. Turns out what they're saying is he had nausea and blurred vision, so I'm hoping that he is going to be fine to come back and make his next start. But he unfortunately hits Jimenez, gives up a run, and is yanked from the game. In comes the kid who grew up a Mets fan, actually just got some love from David Wright recently, Max Kranick, with the bases loaded. He gets a pop out, and he's bailed us out of trouble. We still have the 2-1 lead. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, Pete Alonso stays sizzling, baby. In the 3rd inning, he hits an RBI single up the middle, and then Brandon Nimmo drives him in with the sac fly, so the Mets were able to take that 2-0 lead at the time. But really where this continues to go is Edwin Diaz getting in and out of trouble. He comes into the game in the 9th with a chance to close things out, instantly hits Alan Roden with a pitch. Then he gets a strikeout and a line out, so it looks like we might steal this game. Up next, Bo Bichette steps up to the plate, and Diaz plunks him. The command is a little off, and things are looking extremely scary. Vlad Guerrero Jr., not a guy you want to see up at the plate with an opportunity to tie the ball game. Luckily, Vlad grounds out. Edwin Diaz gets the save. The Mets get the sweep, and things are looking good in Queens, man. Moving to a 6-3 record on the season, and all of a sudden, it looks like we could become a wagon. The wagon that we were supposed to be from the jump. I want to introduce a new segment, which is the Yeah Baby, which goes to somebody or a unit who has stuck out in a series and is the difference maker in a series. So our first ever Yeah Baby goes to the Mets bullpen. After another 4 1/3 scoreless innings today, the Mets bullpen ERA sits at 1.29, which is the best in baseball. A lot of folks thought that the offense was going to carry us this year. We were worried about the starting pitching. It really looks like the bullpen might be kind of the elite unit for us this season. Edwin Diaz, despite getting in and out of trouble, has not given up a run on the season. Max Kranick and Reed Garrett both have 0 ERAs. AJ Minter is starting to get healthy and look better. Ryan Stanek has looked fantastic. You got guys like Jose Budo and Wasker Brazaban who can come in and give multiple innings for the team. So it truly is starting to look like our bullpen is going to be the strength of the team, which we will need because our starters have just proven that they can't go deep into games. Could be early in the season. Things could definitely change with, Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas coming back and starters just starting to feel more comfortable later in the season and going deeper into games. But this bullpen is going to be huge with these long guys, with these really nasty arms in the back end of the bullpen. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And, on the offensive side of the ball, what can we say about Pete Alonso, man? This guy's hitting homers. He's also getting on base at over a 400 clip. He is making contact. He's hitting singles. He looks like he is going to have a breakout year and get paid in a big, big way. Now, the negative side of things, this segment is going to be behave, baby. So the man who needs to behave is Brett Beatty. This man struck out with the bases loaded today with an opportunity to have us separate and, really win this one comfortably. He does not look ready for the moment. I don't think he really belongs up in the majors at this point. I was all ready to give this one to Carlos Mendoza for not pulling David Peterson when it looked like he was hurt, but Brett continues to find a way to struggle, and things are going to have to change. I know he's hitting the ball hard, but he just seems incredibly nervous out there. So, Brett, behave, baby. Also want to give a quick shout out to Matt Allen. We've touched on him before in this show, but he pitched in single A St. Lucie today for the first time since 2019. This guy's coming back from 2 Tommy John surgeries, and wouldn't this be an unbelievable story? Still only 23 years old. So he comes out today, pitches 2 2/3 innings, no runs, 5 strikeouts, and hits 97 miles an hour with the fastball. This guy could really climb up the minors quickly, and the fact that he's even back in pitching is an unbelievable story and super, super exciting. So the sky's the limit for Matt Allen, and I know our fan base would go crazy to see this guy come back and make an impact. Also, I want to give a shout out to my guy, the Rizzler, who threw out the first pitch at Citi today. Love that man. Riz face was activated. He always seems to be there when the Mets win. What do we have coming up? Who's next? The Mets will be facing the Marlins again starting tomorrow at Citi Field with our Ghost Fork slinging king, Kodai Senga, starting in Game 1 of the series. Clay Holmes starting in Game 2 of the series. And Mr. Tyler McGill, the big drip, finishing out the series against the Marlins. Now, Tyler has looked fantastic, but really big opportunity for Kodai to prove his health, to show that he can, return to the form that he had in 2023. Big opportunity for Clay Holmes to cement his spot as a comfortable starting pitcher. So this is a really good chance with a get-right lineup of the Miami Marlins for us to get these guys going and hopefully pick up momentum that'll last throughout the series. Now, luckily, we are going to be avoiding Sandy Alcantara in this one. He is on the paternity list. So the fact that you're avoiding their ace, that's the scariest part of their team. You have to take 2 out of 3 in this series at a minimum. Ideally, the way this team looks, you really, really want a sweep. But look, Lindor and Soto and some of these guys still are not hitting. The offense still looks slow, and we are 6-3 with upcoming series against the Marlins, the A's, the Twins, and the Cardinals. This is a prime opportunity to have a huge April breakout, build a little separation against teams competing for the wild card, ideally put ourselves in a good position to compete for this NL East. The Phillies look extremely, extremely dangerous. The Braves have gotten out to a 1-8 start. They started 0-7. No team has ever made the playoffs after starting 0-7. So this is a good time to put the foot on the gas and really get hot in Queens for my Metsies. Please, guys, go like and subscribe on my YouTube page. Please go follow me on Spotify. Give as much support as you can. We're picking up momentum. We got 6 episodes in now. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride and really, really excited, especially after that gorgeous sweep for what is to come in April and for the rest of the season, both for this team and for this podcast. So, signing off, as always, only one thing left to say. Mets, get it on!